me. Let's leave the past behind. Walk with me. There's something else we need to find. Say you'll go, don't make me wait. There's no need to hesitate. Let's make footprints in the sand. Let's make miracles. Come hold my hand.
Hello, welcome back to my channel if you've been here before, and if you are new here, hi, hello, my name is Carrie Rad and thank you for being here. My last video, I was in managed isolation here in New Zealand, and if you don't know what managed isolation is, definitely check out my last video because I don't want to be repetitive for those of you who watched that video. As you can probably tell, we are now out of managed isolation. I'm laughing because I'm crying. When I laugh, when I'm crying, that means
it's a good cry.
It's a good cry. But it makes me laugh because I'm crying. I just let out a big sigh. I'm gonna do it with you guys. Ah! That was not as good as the one a second ago, but I don't want to hurt your ears. Got some tears coming down. It's just been an emotional journey. It's been a lot. We're now in our rental car that we're going to be in until we get our car. It just feels emotional that we're here, and you know, now I'm thinking about our next step, which is getting Lanka here, which has been in the works for a long time too. And so it's a sense of relief to be here where we are right now, but I know there's so much more to unfold, but I'm enjoying this moment right now of rolling down the window and smelling the absolutely fresh, beautiful, clean, gorgeous air, and feeling good and excited. And I'm feeling, I don't know, it's a weird feeling when anything is possible. And we're at a position in our life right now where anything is possible because we've kind of uprooted ourselves from everything that we were connected to before, and now we're just like, okay, well, let's see where the wind takes us and how everything falls together. So that's how I'm feeling. We are currently in the Taupo area of New Zealand. It's absolutely beautiful here, and it just feels good. I'm honestly just taking it slow right now and just started making meals at home, which was really nice. We're not at home necessarily, but this is our home base for now. This is Alex's family batch here in New Zealand. So batch means holiday home in New Zealand. This is where Alex's dad stays when he's in New Zealand again. He was born and raised here and got this batch to come back to New Zealand, and this is where family comes when they're here in New Zealand. So that's where we're currently staying right now while we look for where we're going to live. Starting as soon as next week, Alex and I will be exploring New Zealand to try to find the area of New Zealand that we want to put roots down. I'm so happy to be sitting down and filming this video for you guys, just kind of like a life update here in New Zealand after managed isolation. I had filmed and edited an entire video that I was going to post last weekend, and then in the video I mentioned our plans out of managed isolation, and those changed, and so I didn't have time to go back in and edit that, and so I just decided to like scrap it and move forward and then film this video for you guys. So that being said, I missed you guys last weekend, and it feels good to just be sitting down and chatting with you guys. It has been really nice. This last week out of managed isolation has really felt for me like a sensory overload in the best way. New Zealand is really special in that there are so many bird sounds constantly. Not only is this country stunning everywhere you look visually, it's just breathtaking. I'm looking at the most beautiful view right now. The sounds as well are so magical. I've never heard bird sounds like here in New Zealand. And I remember this from when we visited here in 2019. I remember walking through a forested area just thinking, it feels like I'm in a movie right now. And it really is a sensory overload because the sounds of birds for human beings is so healing and so special. And to hear them so intensely like that, and the bird sounds are so unique. I've never heard birds quite like this before. One of the things I could just not stop thinking about when we were in managed isolation was getting out to make a home-cooked meal. We got room service every day when we were in managed isolation, which is nice in itself, but if you watch my channel regularly, you know that Alex and I really love creating meals together, and just that's the very first thing that we were so excited to do when we got out. So that's what we did. As soon as we possibly could, we were just like, all the fruits and veggies, please. And I just remember like packing a bowl of spinach because I was just like, I need all of this green right now. Post 2 weeks in a hotel room without getting that much sunshine, we were able to do a little bit of walking outside in a designated area at the hotel, like I mentioned in my last video. But, you know, we weren't getting as much sunshine as we're used to, and it was just, yeah, I just remember a moment shortly after we got here, sitting outside, feeling the sunshine, feeling the wind, listening to the birds, eating a fruit, and just thinking like all of my senses are happy right now. And I just felt so at peace, and I'm really enjoying being here. And I do want to say to those of you who are from here in New Zealand, a lot of people who are expats here in New Zealand or locals, natives, people have been reaching out in my DMs and just to me on Instagram and have been so incredibly kind and have been giving me the warmest welcome. I feel like I have friends here already that I haven't even met yet, because as you can imagine, moving to a country where you don't really have any ties or connections to besides my husband, who I'm so excited to be on this journey with him in reconnecting with his roots. I believe I mentioned this in my last video, but like going through the border and having people say welcome home to him was like really emotional for me too. I have a tendency to like feel other people's experiences, and so I was like feeling that so deeply for him that I started crying, because it's just really special for him to be on this journey, and I feel really grateful to be on it with him and being able to experience it in my own way. I thrive in being out of my comfort zone, and it's been really interesting some of the questions that I've been getting from my viewers and from people that come into my DMs saying like, Carrie, I can't believe you uprooted yourself. Like, you loved your home in LA, like your garden. How could you grow that garden for 2 years and like put so much time and love into it and then leave that garden? Aren't you so sad? And I wanted to mention this because from the very beginning, I never really thought of it like that. Like, to me, and this is why I was so happy that our landlord at that place wanted to keep the garden, because what I was really nervous about was that she was going to make us get rid of everything, and that would have hurt me really bad. But she loved the garden. She came in and was like, wow, this is so cool. Because in reality, like, that is taking a space and in my opinion, like using it to its best ability, right? Growing food in a spot that didn't have food before. It's kind of like that saying, leave it better than you found it. I feel that way for even a space that I rent when it comes to growing your own food, in all different aspects, of course, but like specifically being able to grow food. I think no matter where we go, and I know that it sounds maybe redundant at this point, and you guys are like, okay, Carrie, we get it, you love to grow food. But I also think a lot of you guys are here because of my gardening content, and it's not something that I'll ever stop talking about. And those of you who are into the gardening content and are worried that I won't continue to create gardening content while I'm here in New Zealand, that is so far from the truth. I'm even more inspired than ever before. And so for me, no matter where I go, in life. I want to create a space, whether it's small, big, whatever size it can be. I want to make sure that I can give that to the space. Alex and I, and what's so cool is that Alex feels the same way. And so like right away, obviously you can see mint here, and I've got basil back there, and there's a lemon tree outside that I noticed right when we pulled up that I already harvested some lemons off of, because I was like, I miss harvesting. And so we are going to, there's some wood on the side of the house that we can reuse and create just a small garden that, you know, can have herbs and some tomatoes and just some food that we can add into our meals. And of course, it's not going to be anything as big as what we had in Los Angeles, because this is a property that it just can't be maintained as often, but it's just, we're just passionate about it. And so we're excited to do something small here. So you guys can look forward to that. I'll probably share some content around that. And it will be fun to try to repurpose this wood that we found on the side of the house. This experience for me is already everything I anticipated it would be, and we're only 3 weeks in, and I know that there will be so much more for me to experience and to learn while I'm here. But so far, I feel like I have learned so much about myself, about this country, about change, about human nature. I feel more connected to my husband than ever before. I feel this huge wave of inspiration and feeling of the unknown. And I am so glad that I can have you guys all along this journey with me. I added to my Instagram bio courageous living, because that's really what life feels like right now. Like sometimes I just have to take deep breaths and go, wow, I can't believe I'm here. First of all, like, you know, we started this process of moving to New Zealand so long ago, before the global pandemic, before just a lot. After years of prepping for this move, we feel so grateful, one, that we are able to be here and to be doing this. It took a lot of work and effort, documentation on our part to be able to make it all happen. If you guys don't know, my husband is a dual citizen of New Zealand and the USA, so that is why we're able to be here now, and I am his partner, so I'm here as his partner. And, you know, New Zealand is currently in a state where they've been able to really manage this virus, and it's extra interesting being here and being somebody who came from Los Angeles and saw and experienced this state of being a high risk red alert state, and especially city of Los Angeles, and then coming here and seeing people living completely normal lives, like everything has gone back to normal. I mean, they do use a scanning system for the virus every single place you go. You can have a Bluetooth on, which I do have on, an app for everywhere I go. I scan in, and that's how they can like keep track of contact tracing and like make sure that they know where everybody is. They've done just such an exceptional job here of managing the virus, and the people here are so lucky that they've never really had to experience that feeling of, you know, quarantining or self-isolating yourself for essentially a year, which is what we did. And it's just, you just have to take your hat off to Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern for her grace, her intelligence, her just boss woman attitude, and but such a humble, kind leader. And I'm not trying to make this political or compare country to country, but you do have to take a look at the way that things were handled here in New Zealand, and just kind of course, just like everything, it's not all black and white, and there are fears and different opinions here and there throughout the country, just like any country or any situation. But on the grand scheme of things, when you look at the entire world, you just have to just appreciate everything that they've been able to do. I've been thinking a lot about courageous living lately, and how when you make a brave choice and you get past that fear and anxiety and terrifying moments, and you just push through them and you get to the other side. That doesn't mean that there won't be more terrifying moments throughout the journey, but once you get past the initial moments of fear that you had, your like heart and soul and your mind just like opens up a bit, and I just kind of feel like I'm becoming more of who I'm supposed to be by going through this experience itself. And I really feel so intensely that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. What I'm realizing is that it's just so important to listen to the cues that you get in life, kind of the callings that can sometimes be so in your face, but you choose not to listen because you're already comfortable with your everyday and you're afraid to move out of that. It can be so easy to listen to that comfort, to that, like, us human beings, we are creatures of habit. I think it's all about paying attention to that yearning that you can feel. When that yearning comes in and we hear it and we feel it, a lot of the times it can be easy to push it to the side, like I said, and think, well, that's scary and that's out of my comfort zone, and I'm really good right here being comfortable, and what are people gonna think if I make this choice, and what do people think of me, and they'll assume this or that. And it's all about living for yourself and listening to that yearning, and that is what courageous living is all about. Now that we are here in New Zealand, you guys can continue to expect content from me. I'm feeling super inspired right now and excited to share with you guys. I still want to share food, I want to share gardening, I want to share exploring this beautiful country, finding our home that we're going to settle into, and I want to bring you guys all along the journey. Definitely make sure that you guys are keeping up with my Instagram. I'm sharing in the moment stuff there every single day. It's at Carrie Rad if you're not already following along. And that's it for today's video. I just wanted to do a quick check-in, say hi. I don't know how quick this was, but I just wanted to, pop in, say hello, give you guys a life update, sit down, chat, person to person, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I will see you very soon in a new video. Hope you are all well, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye.